Let's go on a journey through time. Our story begins long time ago on a planet called Planet Sadala. On there lived the first of the Saiyan race. They were more of a primal race. One thing about them, they were evil in a sense, just like how we know them on planet Vegeta. And from all of those Saiyans, some pure-hearted ones came out and started a war on that planet to restore what good left from all of the Saiyans. Because of that, their planet couldn't take it and the war destroyed it. But the Saiyans' journey didn't stop there. They migrated to a different planet called at the time Planet Plant. They didn't live alone on it. There were people called the Tuffles. They were a more advanced species, a lot peaceful than them. The Saiyans, they didn't have the technology, they didn't have anything of that. And throughout the years they lived outside of the cities of the Tuffles until one day they decided that it's enough. And with the leadership of King Vegeta, the Saiyans beat the Tuffles and took over the planet. We all know Planet Vegeta. And this was the history of the Saiyans. For anyone that doesn't know, a history that wasn't a lot touched on in the series and a lot known. But one thing about this story is we didn't dive in it. We didn't see how exactly it all started. How King Vegeta became the first king of the Saiyans and took over the leadership and eventually take over all of the planet. No matter what he did, King Vegeta did all of it for the better good of his people. Even though he was evil in a sense, he did all of that to make the Saiyans flourish, and we have to respect him for that. Our story is about him, the first Saiyan king of planet Vegeta, about the witness of everything that happened, his first son called Vaboru. Through a story like this that is explored through the eyes of his son, the witness of all of what happened, our story of Vaboru, the first son of the Saiyan king and the witness of the Saiyan revolution, begins. It all begins at Planet Plant, which is Planet Vegeta before it was called Planet Vegeta, where we see two Saiyans standing there ready to fight. The little one is our main protagonist, called Vaboru, the son of the king. It appears they're gonna fight. Vaboru tells the Saiyan, bring it on. Thus, the Saiyan launches at him. He starts pounding on him with a punch after the other, hurting him bad and making fun of him, telling him, so this is it. You're not even gonna try and fight me this time. As he kicks him away, crashing onto a rock. The fight isn't even fair. He's still a Saiyan kid. The Saiyan starts walking towards Vaboru, making fun of him, telling him how weak he is and how he shouldn't call himself a Saiyan. As he's making fun of him, he tells him, do you finally understand your place? I'm talking to you, princess of all Saiyan. And it appears that the son of the king is a weakling. He's not like Vegeta, who was born with power. He's not strong enough, but he doesn't give up. He throws sand at the Saiyan's eyes and blinds him. Then he jumps up and catches him by his tail, which takes all the power of the Saiyan. He shouldn't grab his tail. They're not supposed to do that. Where's your fighting spirit? And you call yourself a Saiyan? One thing that, if you didn't know, the Saiyan's weak point is their tails, and we learned that in the first Dragon Ball. It takes all of their power. And that's why Saiyans like Goku and Vegeta and all of the others cut their tails. In a sense, it gives them more power, but at the same time, it makes an easy weak point for them. Vaboru stands there and says, you said it yourself. I am a weakling. I don't get the luxury of fighting honorably, because I either win or die. I don't get to have a fighting spirit. So next time you all consider picking on me again, you might want to remember that I don't play fair. From this, we could see how he's different from his father. He doesn't care about his honor or his pride, because he knows that he isn't that strong and he can't win against them fairly. He uses that to his advantage. He's thrown all of that, but focused on his way of living, how he's protecting himself, and we have to give him props for that. Someone from behind him calls for him. It's a female Saiyan called Paprika. She asks him what's going on, what happened to him. He tells her that they all attacked him. She gets angry and says, that's it, I'm going to destroy Mahisu. He tells her, don't you two meet at some point? She replies with, whatever, nobody beats up my cousin and he says, well, you beat me up. She once again replies, but it's okay. Paprika tells him, I almost forgot to tell you. Uncle Vegeta challenged King Kabucha to a duel, meaning that Vegeta the First is challenging the king to his throne. We go now to the wasteland, where all of the Saiyans are gathered, and we see who Kabucha is. As the Saiyans are gathered, Paprika and Vaboru make their way through the crowd to see the fight now starting. Kabucha tells Vegeta, took you long enough to muster the courage to challenge me. Do you think you're strong enough to defeat me? Vegeta just says, of course. The king replies with, I'm going to give you the same treatment I gave your father 30 years ago. So the father of King Vegeta has also challenged the king before and failed. And thus, the fight starts. King Vegeta fires a ki blast at the earth beneath King Kabucha. Kabucha doesn't want him to hide. It's no use. He goes at him, but he's not there. He's hiding all of the smoke, and his voice could be heard. Kabucha, I don't care that you killed my father. If he was taken out by a weakling like you, then he deserved it. What I cannot accept is that you abused your position so you could drink all day instead of rule. You decided to replace the image of our proud race with that of a drunk. You represent the Saiyan race, and the Saiyans can't afford to be underestimated. He can't catch Vegeta. Vegeta tells him, for the sake of our race, I take back what is mine. Take comfort knowing that this will restore the Saiyans to their old glory. The speech of King Vegeta, the speech of all of the Saiyans. He wants to restore their glory. That's why he did what he did. He only wants what's best for them, to show their power and their pride. And this is why, after that speech, he delivered an attack which took out King Kabucha. Vaboru watching it is happy. He did it. He brought up a smoke screen to give himself a mental advantage as well as a physical one. His strength probably wasn't that far from Kabucha's. He says with a smile, nice tactic, father. He's happy for his father because now he became the first real Saiyan king. King Vegeta looking at Vaboru says, weaklings will not be tolerated. Tomorrow we wage war on the toughens. Tomorrow we regain our freedom. Tomorrow we regain our pride. King Vegeta will start the revolution against the toughens. But what he said before is going through Vaboru's mind. Weaklings will not be tolerated. He knows what he meant by that. He knows that he was telling him specifically that. And King Vegeta doesn't care that he is his son. If he's a weakling, he will not tolerate that. We saw before that even his father, he didn't care about him because he considered him a weakling. That's why he told his son that. I am Vegeta, king of all Saiyans. All of the Saiyans are watching happily. Bardock, Genie, and everyone else. They're seeing their king, the king that will bring the rise of all of the Saiyans. And the king of the Toughens castle. He knows about what the Saiyans are planning, and he's not taking any risks. He doesn't want to give them a chance. The Toughens are superior in numbers and technology and all of that. So he's gonna end it before it all starts. He's gonna eradicate all of the Saiyans. Back to the Saiyans. They're celebrating their new king, King Vegeta. They know what the king will bring them all. He stands up in front of all of them and says, my brothers and sisters, no longer shall our proud race be reduced to the state of a primitive species by our enemies. No longer shall we be patronized by others. We are warriors born to fight. We are not weaklings, unlike my father, the Toughens and Kabucha, and yet they think themselves worthy of ruling our stead. I disagree. I think we all do. Only the strong survive. That has always been in our history. And honestly, I have to agree with King Vegeta. I know a lot of us in the community don't like him because of what he did, because of his acts on the planet. But if you look at all of the picture, it appears that he threw himself away. He threw a lot of stuff, not because he's selfish, but because of his people, of the Saiyans. And that's why I have respect for him, no matter what he did, even after what he did with Broly. I still have major respect for King Vegeta. Without him, the Saiyans would never be where they are now. We fast forward 4 years in the future. The war has been going for 4 years. As one of the planet plant's inhabitants said, it has to end for the sake of all of our people. The Tuffle member says that the Saiyans attacked first and took out the Tuffle's king, his brother. It appears that the Tuffles know about the Super Saiyan, and the brother of the king says that the Saiyans can only understand fighting. Suddenly, someone says, as much as I'm flattered that you know of our legend, King Barry, I'm going to have to disagree with you on the last part. It's King Vegeta. He's there with one other Saiyan that looks like Nappa. He flies down and sits on the ground. He looks at them with a smile and says, "Now, let's talk business. Say what you have to say. Make it snappy. Don't make me waste my time." So the one from the planet says, as they are the original owners of this planet, they have organized this peace summit to end the fight between the Tuffles and the Saiyans and reinstate their agreement on non-violence. We are willing to give you 2/3 of our land if you're willing to cease hostility. So King Vegeta, what do you say? And expectedly he says, "I refuse, of course." Then what are your terms? My terms? The disappearance of weakness from this planet. So this is his goal. He hates seeing weaklings. He hates seeing anyone that isn't a Saiyan and isn't strong. He wants justice for the Saiyans. After everything that they have been through, he is gonna restore everything that they have built before. And with that, the story of Vaboru, the first son of the first Saiyan King, ends here. If you reach this point, subscribe. It will really help me out a lot. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you all for everything. Love you all. Thank you for watching. And saying that, I will see you on the next one. Bye bye. Only if your father could see you now, Vegeta, he would be so proud.